Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So let's look at the sales for January 2024 for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Although that game is in the video title, I think viewers have caught on that this series is more broadly about the Japanese mobile gaming industry, with a focus on Square Enix. In any case, January is a very important month for Japanese mobile games, and I've been looking forward to this report in particular. And I should mention that these numbers do not reflect any income from the Steam clients games might have. My source relies on App Store sales rankings, which would not report the Steam numbers even if it knew them. After the numbers, I'll talk about the upcoming release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and its possible influence on Ever Crisis. And then the exchange rate that I'm using for this video will be 150 yen to the $1 US. Alright, but as usual, we'll do the September releases from last year, and solid performance from Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Slightly higher than December, so that's the first non-drop in the history of the game. And better than Power Pro for the first time. Compared to other perennial top-of-the-list hits, 3 million USD is not a ton, but looking at it within the Square Enix stable, the higher-ups must be somewhat happy with this performance. I talked about mobile games releasing with high sales and then falling off before plateauing. If Ever Crisis can plateau at this level, that would be pretty good. Otherwise, Monster Hunter now has really hit on something. There's something about how their monetization is set up, I don't know the details, but apparently it makes it very tempting to spend extra, and it's working. Okay, let's have a look at some more Square Enix games. Pretty weak overall, and kind of a surprisingly bad showing from Romancing Saga Re-Universe. It's not going to shut down, I'm pretty sure. Also, War of the Visions looks fine. All of the others, I don't know. The pattern that we've been seeing with Square Enix games is that if they're not doing well enough, they will shut down after 1 year. I think Twatsugai is coming up on that, so that must be next, I'm thinking. But we look at the Dragon Quest games, and different story there. Dragon Quest Walk, looking strong as usual. I saw people saying that Dragon Quest Tact is in trouble because the global version shut down, or is shutting down. But that's not how it always works. You gotta look at them separately as well. The JP side can be doing great, as Tact is doing here, but no matter how much success it has, there comes a point where a failing global side is just more trouble than it's worth. It's more trouble than even, good money can handle on the JP side. And then Champions not getting better, so I think that's on the chopping block as well. But Schoolgirl Strikers still going strong. It's become a bit of a punchline at this point. And then a Nier Reincarnation announced a shutdown, so I will no longer be covering that game in these videos. Alright, and then to end, various other mobile games. I am adding Punishing Gray Raven here because I think that is a... for fans of Nier Reincarnation, it's the better game as far as gameplay. But I looked at the results for the first time, and that's not looking good, so I don't know. That might be on the chopping block as well. But Arknights and Nikke, strong months for them. I'm not sure on the details, but they seem to be following the pattern of releasing really desirable units for New Year's. Honkai Star Rail, worst month ever, but I wonder if maybe the developers are taking turns, as it were, with Genshin. Genshin had a really good month, and even hit #1 for a day. And then Uma Musume and Monster Strike, who also aim for big releases on New Year's, had giant results. Okay, here let's talk about the upcoming release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I haven't talked about it up to now because it always felt so far away, but suddenly here it is. And I don't want to be overly dramatic, but this feels like an era-defining moment for Square Enix. Square Enix has been struggling on nearly every front for over a year. Their legacy IP entries like Final Fantasy XVI or Dragon Quest Champions are not selling how they would like. Their big-budget original IP releases like Forsaken and Babylon's Fall are falling flat. Their mobile division is shrinking before our eyes, shutting down 10 mobile games last year? And even their bandwagon stuff, like their Splatoon copy or their Mario copy, is having people ask why, who is going to want to play this instead of the original. But with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Ever Crisis, Square Enix has a real opportunity to sell big on console and sell big on mobile. and it's possible that the better each does, the more they will help the other. Sometime in the future, I want to talk about mobile games that are based on IPs. In a certain sense, they're kind of the only mobile games that can succeed now in the current market. But it's not enough to have an IP. It's really helped if there's something current going along with it. And then Final Fantasy Ever Crisis has that in the release of Rebirth. So this is a big chance. I'm sure Square Enix is looking at it like that. And then Final Fantasy VII is their biggest IP outside of Japan, and nothing is going to sell as well for them, I think. If Square Enix can't make this dual-pronged attack of console with mobile work, then I think the company is going to shrink from now, both literally and in terms of influence in the industry. And that is why it is going to be so fascinating to watch the performance of Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis this year. Will Rebirth be some wind at its back and boost those sales? Could Ever Crisis suddenly be making so much money that it can fund other console releases? Or will Rebirth succeed and have no helping effect on Ever Crisis? Or will Rebirth even sabotage Ever Crisis by, taking up people's time? They don't have time for Ever Crisis suddenly. Or, the experience of Rebirth is enough Final Fantasy VII that people don't feel the need for any more beyond that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep doing those videos, and then the next Ever Crisis livestream, maybe I will live blog that and then do a video covering what they talk about in there. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.